Last year was my first year being an RA, and I was a freshman RA in Hicks last year. Um, and in Hicks, you have duty partners for when you go on rounds. So some rounds you do alone, some rounds you do with a duty partner. My duty partner was Alex Kaufman last semester. And I found that a lot of the things, I love a lot of the things about being an RA. I love the relationships and all that kind of thing. The things that I don't like so much are confrontation, and the little things, like making sure that people are following all the rules at all times, to the best of my ability. So relationally, I did a pretty good job at the beginning of the year, but I had trouble when it came to the really small rule following things. So when I'd be on rounds, I found it really easy to walk by people's rooms and see things hanging from the ceiling, or see duct tape on the walls, or other little things that weren't allowed, and say, "Oh, I'll address that on my next round," or "Oh, I'll go tell their RA about it, and they can deal with it later." Or even, "That's not such a big deal. I can let that go for now." But when I would do rounds with Alex, I always noticed that when we would walk by a room, and see something like that, Alex would stop in, and super politely take control of the situation and say, "Hey guys, you're not allowed to have that there, or you're not allowed to do that, or this is something that you can't have in the room." And he, without fail, would stop every single time. I talked to him, and he didn't like confrontation. He was just like me in that aspect. He didn't like it, but it was part of his job, and so he did it. And he was always polite. And even when the resident wasn't there, he would leave them a note and say, "Hey, you can't have this," or "I needed to confiscate this while you were gone." And the more he did that when I was around, the more I got into the habit of doing that. And soon I realized that even when I was on rounds by myself, I was stopping out of habit, because that's what I did when I was with Alex. And I realized that if he was doing that kind of thing and I wasn't, when I was on rounds alone, I was leaving him out to dry, and I was leaving the rest of my team out to dry. And so through that, Alex showed me really what it meant to have integrity in the small things in the job, and how important it was for our staff as a whole to have integrity. So that was really important for me to see in Alex last year, and really helped me to come to terms with things that I wasn't so good at or wasn't so comfortable with as an RA.